Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Will I be bringing to you my predictions for the last weeks of the regular season of 2019? So check it out. Yep, this is now the final week. Final week of the regular season. It's kind of going to be an iffy one. So we're going to just kind of shoot through the predictions because a lot of these games are pointless because a lot of teams now are in the playoffs and a lot of teams can be arsed to really get into it. So my name is Sean, obviously, and if you're new to this, hit that wee subscribe button. And so here is a wee quick fire of my predictions. With Joseph off now for Atlanta. Atlanta first here, obviously, against New England. Because of Joseph off now for Atlanta, New England really have a good chance now of beating Atlanta in Atlanta. But the way Atlanta now are playing and holding on strong at home, they're doing very well. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Atlanta. It could be a good one. The next one is DC United against FC Cincinnati. Cincinnati are just going to be just two teams now, basically going to rest players and then kind of worry about future. So saying that, Wayne Rooney should start. I would suggest Acosta should start to get him more prepped up for the playoffs. FC Cincinnati, God knows what they're going to do and how they're going to set up. I would expect that they're going to keep their strong team and really go for it and give their fans a wee bit encouragement coming into the new season next year. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win to DC United. Cincinnati probably going to have a wee bit more fight for them, hopefully, and it's going to make that a good game. The next one, DC United. Poor DC United against Sporting Kansas City. DC United are on a pretty bad form at the moment, which isn't great to see because they did look good at the start of the season. They looked brilliant last season, and they're taking on a Sporting Kansas City who basically exactly the same as them last season. So saying that, these two teams are not doing very well at the moment. So I'm not predicting a big game for this one. Saying that, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. God knows what is going to happen in that one. The next one is Houston Dynamo against LA Galaxy. This was a tricky one. Houston are just basically down and out at the moment. I don't think they'll do much in this game. I think LA Galaxy with Zlatan, I think they may rest them just for the crack, because of the long distance, and just basically keep them occupied and get them into the playoffs. Again, if they do win this, it will be interesting to see how they get on in the playoffs, because I don't expect them to see them going that far really. So I'm going to go for Houston 1, LA Galaxy 2. Again, it's going to be a tight game. Again, two teams are basically know what their future is. The next one is LAFC against Colorado. Colorado still has a chance of getting into the playoffs if they beat LAFC and other teams basically go the way they want. But I don't see it against a cracking team. Saying that, Colorado really don't do what I usually say, but I think it should be an easy one if LAFC have a strong team in. If they have a strong team out, it'll be 2-1 to LAFC. If it's not, it's going to be 1-0. And sorry, Colorado, I don't think it's going to happen. The next one is Montreal against New York Red Bull. New York Red Bull is kind of missing now Jesse Marsch, what he did 2 nights ago against Liverpool. Boy, do they need him really at this time. Against Montreal, who are just basically dragging along. I think it shows now they're in a good wee vein of form, and it does show you that they're capable of winning games, good games. Hence why I'm saying this game is going to be Montreal 1, Red Bull 0. Montreal, I do think they're going to have a wee bit too much fun in this one. The next one is Orlando against Chicago. Orlando, again, team is, I think, and I may be wrong in this one, and if you're, put it in the comments below if I am wrong. Orlando is the only team not to make the playoffs at the moment. Every other team has made the playoffs. New York's made the playoffs. Every team, LAFC, Minnesota has made the playoffs. So it's very strange. They have brilliant had brilliant players, and they still have brilliant players against Chicago, who I doubt. I don't know if Schweinsteiger will stay this year. It's going to be an interesting one if he does. Hopefully he does. But they need to play him in a better position. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Orlando. It's going to be a tight game. Again, two teams basically know what the crack is. The next one is Philadelphia Union against New York City. Two teams again know where the positioning is. New York City has clinched the Eastern. Yep. And Philadelphia is basically battling with Atlanta at the moment to see who picks it. And so I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Philadelphia. I would say New York's just basically going to chill out and relax a few players. The next one, Portland Timbers, is going to be on TV here against San Jose Earthquakes. Portland being basically, as soon as they got it home, they really haven't done very well. San Jose haven't won the last 4 games from what I remember away from home, so this was going to be a tight game, an interesting game to play on TV here. Just going to check where they are. Portland's already made the playoffs unless Orlando gets into it, and San Jose are 8th, so they can actually probably get into the playoffs if they win this game, which I'm predicting they do. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to San Jose. They should be really up for it with Woodenkowski back, who was basically going mental during the last game. The next one, Seattle Sounders against Minnesota. Seattle Sounders are starting to do playing very well. They've made the playoffs. They're in this kind of situation now where they're starting to pick up games and usually kind of go well into the playoffs. It's pretty tricky with this season where there's only like a 1-round knockout. Where before I would have said Seattle would have got on farther before if it wasn't, against Minnesota, who I enjoyed this season, which is quite surprising. But saying that, I'm going to go for a Seattle win 2-1. It's probably going to be Seattle on their turf crap coming out on top. The next one is Toronto against Columbus Crew. Toronto, who surprised me basically at the start of the season on how well they're playing pretty well, and then to the middle of the season they surprised me even more for how bad they played. Saying that, they've started to pick up now. They're doing a bit better now as the word, but Columbus Crew, who basically aren't. They won 2 games surprisingly not so long ago, but I don't think this one's going to be one for them, so I'm going to go for a Toronto 3-1 win. Obviously, and then the last game is Vancouver against Real Salt Lake. Vancouver is basically gone, and Real Salt Lake is gotten very comfortable in the last few games. So I suggest this one's going to be a draw. I'm going to go for 1-1. Again, I could be completely wrong. These teams can be basically change. They can be playing B teams, they can play in A teams. So if you're going to put any bets on, I'd probably suggest doing a wee bit more in depth. Wait until the teams are released basically, and then do your own workout. So yes, that is my predictions. I may do a wee bit of a playoff kind of scenario for you next week or the week after, one before the playoffs start. So tune in for that, and I hope to see you then. Toodaloo, bye now.